Okay,
Yeah.
I have audio coming through this time. I don't know what changed other than I just turned off Discord and turned it back on, or OBS. So
Sweet.
Classic tech
it
problems.
is what it is, and we're gonna just run along with it. All right. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Apple Gaming SE. Thanks to the power of movie magic, y'all don't realize this is the second time we're attempting to record this, because the first time all of the audio was not coming through Discord and it was just me talking. So fortunately we only got like 5 minutes in, and we didn't get into like an hour-long podcast and me figure that out after the fact. So tonight I will be hosting. My name is Jim Cook. Sometimes people call me Jimothy as a nickname. It's short for Jim. And then to my immediate right is Jay Fishin.
Hello, Jimothy.
Jimothy
I hope
Fishin.
I hope to see those 5 minutes of like a blooper reel at the end.
Sure, I can
To hear you
tack
talking.
it on there just to hear me talking. To immediately to his right, the estimable, ever awesome, amazing, cool guy, and somebody who's never seen a Costco in his life, Mac Pro Tips, who we lovingly call MPT.
Hello, Jimothy. For the record, I have been in a Costco before, just not many times.
Just
For the record.
Same, actually. I go to BJ's. So, and then to the right of MPT is Shock. Good sir, Shock.
Hey,
how are you?
What's up? What's up, Jimothy? I, unlike MPT, have been to Costco many times. In fact, it was where I learned to like gravy on my mashed potatoes, so.
I've been to Costco.
Good stuff. Well, gentlemen, this little recording that we're doing here, I don't know if you call it a podcast or not, but we are discussing our reactions, thoughts, considerations, things we love and hate regarding WWDC25. Apple starts us out with Craig Federighi's insane hair on a F1 track at the One Apple Way. It is a racetrack that is on top of the building, which would be a horrible working conditions, and I have no doubt that Tim Cook would not allow that, nor the state of California. And Tim basically doesn't have much to say during this whole keynote, except that it's somewhat amorphously that Apple TV Plus has the, quote, highest quality programming, end quote, from 2001 through 2005, without giving any qualifiers as to what highest quality programming means, or highest rated original programs. There's some definitely good ones out there, like Severance, Foundation, and For All Mankind, but what are we, I mean, the rumors are they're losing millions of dollars on this endeavor. Am I crazy? Is that what y'all have heard?
I've definitely heard that.
That is what I've heard, yeah. Let me get the exact number. Apple TV losing money. Also, highly recommend Slow Horses. It's another show on there. Apple TV is reportedly losing over $1 billion annually.
Wow. Not even millions. Billions, the man says. Holy crap.
Well, when you're $1 trillion company, what does $1 billion matter?
I see. You're right.
Can we spare one? Can we spare $1 billion for gaming a little bit?
Right?
Nope.
Just get like better on screen, like we should not need to have to upgrade to Tahoe to get Metal HUD, get its advanced features.
Mm-hmm.
Moving on from that, we pretty much immediately go to Craig Federighi, whose name has the new glassy kind of logo on it, so it kind of hints at what's coming later in the keynote here. And he's pretty much immediately talks about Apple Intelligence, mostly just regurgitating what we knew from last year, and then saying something to the effect that Apple Intelligence has not met their highest quality standards, and then moves on. So he basically acknowledges that Apple Intelligence is slow to roll out and dismisses it immediately.
It certainly has.
Yeah, they got that out of the way.
Yeah, just kind of swept that one under the rug real quick.
Yeah, they ripped the Band-Aid off quick and, all right, move on.
I saw on one article I read today that they said the word Siri exactly twice, like 2 times. That's it.
Wow.
No, it was MKBHD. It was his video. Yeah.
The thing is, it's like it's not even when it comes to Siri, it's not an Apple Intelligence problem. Like they've been so far behind on Siri for so many years. Uh,
Mhm.
this is just the cherry on top for Siri.
It really is not their
Yeah.
strong suit. I think the most advanced thing I've done with Siri is tell it to like I've set up shortcuts and I just tell it to run shortcuts like open the front door, like turn on the camera, turn on the front light, like arm the house.
Yeah.
Right.
Like it
I,
doesn't
I
do
asked
anything
Siri,
intelligently.
I asked Siri to set an alarm for 8 p.m. and it called my grandma.
Nice. Good job.
Yeah, I can't say that I use Siri very often. It's like if I'm in the car, I ask Siri to turn my music off or something if I'm gonna call someone. But like it's not something that I even think about really. So
Does anyone have a HomePod?
I do not, but
no, I don't.
I think the missus and I are gonna get a couple this weekend. So instead of getting a sound bar, we're gonna get two home pods to hook up to the Apple TV because we now have an Apple
Oh,
TV
that'd be
4K.
nice.
So we can hook up the home pods, and through the eARC, we can do PlayStation 5 through the home pods as well.
Nice.
So
A HomePod with
Okay.
Apple Intelligence would be cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, that would be cool. I'm speaking on behalf of like the regular Siri in the HomePod, and it's like we use it all the time to like set timers and stuff. And I guess it has that feature where like it knows who's talking to it and stuff like that, like what family
Mm.
member. And it always just trips up, and it's like, oh, sorry, I can't talk to you. You can't do anything because I don't recognize your voice. So annoying. It's
Yeah, it's
very
a little embarrassing for Apple. I hope they can get this fixed soon.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is definitely one of those areas that it doesn't look good. So I watched a video by the channel is called Tech with Benefits, but it's the guy who runs the Sammy Guru webpage.
Hmm.
And he's like just this blatant Samsung fan. I will give him credit for this one thing. He's like, Samsung has for years been able to put AI on even their most entry level phones, like a $200 Samsung Galaxy A15 with 6 gigs of RAM can run some basic Samsung's AI, like Galaxy AI features, and you can actually use Gemini as your assistant, which hits the cloud and allows you to do a lot more. And when you
Yeah.
have that stacked up against, $1,000, $1,200 iPhone 15, 16 Pro, and it can't hardly do anything AI related, it's not a good look.
Yeah.
It really isn't. And
Yeah, sure.
and I get that Apple is definitely trying to be private about the way that they handle AI, and I don't disagree with them. I think what's one of the reasons that, at least for me, is probably the most important reason that I am an Apple fan is because they don't sell everything you do and they don't sell the metadata for everything you do to all of these marketing partners. So I got to give them credit. They're definitely the more private option, but speaking of slow horses, they're definitely the slowest one right now.
Well done.
So, well,
We
that's
need
Apple
we need
Intelligence.
Siri. Wait. We need
Okay.
Siri for all mankind. Am I right?
Yeah, right. Siri for all mankind. For sure.
Thank you.
Glad you get that one out. But from there, they move straight on to the basically the what I think, not for us, but I think generally in the Apple ecosystem fandom is going to be that which is, well, it's going to be the most obvious thing because it's what we most interact with, which is the new UI that's basically coming across the board. It's standardized between macOS, iOS, iPadOS, VisionOS, tvOS, is Liquid Glass. And they dropped a lot of hints while this guy is talking. I forgot his name. Who is, let's see, what's his name here? If I can, Alan Dye. Oh, that's Alan Dye. Okay, I guess I could have had four-way bingo because I didn't know who Alan Dye was and I missed his name when he came up on the screen. Oh, whoops. Anyway, so he goes through the features and talks about the stuff, and I mean, my initial reaction is I absolutely love the iconography. I think the icons look amazing. It's like early 2000 Linux stuff. But anybody else, like, love it, hate it, indifferent?
It's great. I love it.
Mhm. I like the idea of it. I think that just from what I've seen online and stuff, it looks like it's very beta still. Like I saw a post on r/Mac today about the new Finder where like the status bar is like chopped off and stuff, and it looks kind of janky right now. So I love the idea, and I really hope that they can execute well. But like it definitely looks like it needs a little bit of work in some places. So
Yeah, I saw I think it was on Reddit also, a picture of like iOS 12 or something in beta, and then the first actual public release, and it is wildly different. So I
oh yeah,
think,
for sure. I'm not saying that it's going to be bad or anything like that. It's just
yeah,
like
yeah,
the what's out right now is hopefully not the final product. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah.
I love the style. I think
hmm
it's like it hits a nice balance between kind of old school and futury.
for
Um,
sure.
and I think it's interesting that they like what was their like motto that they would never do, how do you pronounce it, skeuomorphisms
Eumorphism.
anymore.
Skeuomorphism. Yep,
Yeah,
skeuomorphism.
Yeah, but this is pretty much it. Like,
it's kind of halfway between. Yeah.
Yeah. If
yeah,
you if
I
if
dig it though.
skeuomorphic was only glass, this would be it. I
Right,
actually
right.
loved skeuomorphic. I wish they would go back to that, but I am not upset about this in the least. I'm gonna be honest with you. I think it looks great.
Mhm.
I really
I
do.
agree. I'm like the kind of Mac user that like likes all my icons in my dock to look similar, and I think
Mhm.
on top of the just kind of liquid glass look, if you go into general, no, I'm sorry, if you go to appearance, you have the new icon and widget styles where you can choose default, dark, clear, tinted, and it's just kind of like a game changer for me
Mhm.
to get this like unified look in my dock, and I think it looks really nice.
Yeah, for
Yeah.
sure. I've just got actually doing a little bit of an overlay of my iPad on the OBS here, and it there's definitely some like little oddball like graphical glitches here and there when you open up some of these things. Like if y'all watch the video after we record it, you'll see. But a lot of it just looks. It really does. So I don't know if anybody remembers this when Mac OS 10 first came out and they were introducing the Aqua interface. They he referred to it as Apple's first interface that was lickable. Like you could lick
Mhm.
the interface. It looked so good.
Mm,
And I hate to say I agree, but I really do feel like you could lick this interface and it'd be
Mhm.
okay.
and I've
Absolutely.
tried. I have tried.
I've tried. Well, I only have iPad OS 26 on my iPad. I haven't put it on my phone or my Mac yet, but it looks pretty damn good. That's faux show.
Agreed.
Mhm.
And I feel like the general consensus from what I'm seeing is people tend to like it, um,
Yeah, I've seen a few
which is
people
good.
raising like legibility concerns and stuff. Like
Hmm.
there's not enough contrast with text with small text and stuff like that. But again, that's I'm sure something that will get ironed out over the
Yeah,
next couple months.
overall seems well received.
Hmm
Yeah, I watched MKBHD mention that in his video as well, and he was showing some on-screen like demo of him moving between light and dark areas of like a pictures that are like partially light and partially dark. But it seems to me that it's pretty intelligently switching from light to dark on the text as it moves across the image, like well enough that I don't think you would like unless you were really like looking for it and being like, oh look in this one pixel, it's like not perfectly contrasty, you know. Like I think it's pretty good.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, I haven't came across anything where I couldn't really, have an issue. I haven't had an issue with anything where legibility or where just things are too clear for me to read. So
Hmm.
hasn't been bad.
Good, glad to hear it. I actually, now that I'm thinking about this, so I'm running iPad OS 26 beta on my iPad 8th generation. I know a couple of you are running the Tahoe beta. Has anybody put this on an iPhone yet?
I wouldn't dare.
I'm too
No,
scared.
I actually can't. I have like authentication stuff that doesn't work if I don't if I'm on a beta, so
Right. Okay.
can't put it on my phone.
Yeah, I have an iPhone 12 mini that I'm still working out like with my dad's estate with the probate court, and I'm just terrified if I like put the beta on there and it breaks the ability to make him receive calls from the lawyer or whatever that I'm gonna be like up a creek. Yeah, I've been a little nervous, but I do want to put it on the 12 mini for sure at some point.
I'll probably wait for the public beta in July to do that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
that might be the way to go.
Yeah, definitely safer.
All right. So they also touched on the next thing I made a note about was the camera app. I mean, they spent a lot of time talking about the liquid glass part of this, and then they talked about CarPlay. So they have CarPlay. They have like CarPlay for the peasants, and then they have real CarPlay for, like the actual like executives
Royalty.
at Apple and like global elites, like so
That's the one where you it takes over the speedometer and stuff, right?
yeah, there's that. It does a speedometer, but it also handles all of the climate control. So like you can like manage
yeah.
heating, cooling. You can like the seats in your vehicle you can control if they have like heating or fans in them. Like my mother-in-law's, she has a Highlander that actually has like fans built into the seats, so you can like it's almost like running an AC into your seat. It doesn't actually cool your seat; it just moves air around, so it just feels kind of cool for a few minutes until you're like me and like you sit there for 6 minutes and your body heat just overwhelms the fan. So
Yeah, you talked about the camera earlier, and I think the camera app looks insanely good. I think that's where Liquid Glass kind of shines a lot. Is just like being on top of your like composition or whatever you're shooting. It looks really good.
yeah,
Well, it's nice that they brought all the settings to made them all easier to access and stuff, and simplified
Yeah.
the main screen and stuff for just the photo and video.
Mhm.
That feels a lot more user friendly than it
Yeah,
has
I
been
like
for a
the
while.
I like the super minimal style that they kind of introduced with the camera app and mail and photos. I think um, it's a lot cleaner. It's a lot less overwhelming for me.
Yeah, the camera app right now I feel like is hard to maneuver sometimes. Like when you're trying to get a shot really quick and you're like just trying to hit like flash to turn it on and just to get to like all these steps to like get the shot, miss it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I was
agreed.
actually thinking about it and I was like, I agree personally. I agree with all y'all. I don't think this is difficult for me, but I was thinking about my mom, and I was like, my mom, when she gets this update, she's gonna be like, "Where are all the buttons? Like, why can't I see any of the other options I used to have before?" Like, she's not gonna know to intuitively like swipe left and right on photos, videos, and then go to 4:3 and portrait and all that.
Right.
So I think for some people, it's definitely gonna be more confusing. I mean, that's always the case, but that's immediately what
Yeah.
I was thinking about. But then I also saw where they're like where you can go from like photos to video, you like swipe up to bring up like all the additional menu options for like aperture and everything. So I'm like, so you gotta like swipe up twice to get back to the home screen now. Is that what we're saying?
I
Yeah.
don't think I'd swipe up from the very bottom. I mean, maybe I missed something, but
Maybe it's just that little like black area to the right of the actual camera button.
yeah, I feel like it would be more like the difference between getting notification center and getting control center, stuff
Okay,
like that.
I see what you're saying. Yeah,
I can't imagine Apple making you swipe twice to get close an app. That just seems very un-Apple to me.
well, I
Isn't
don't
it
think
like
it's
the long?
intentional, but sometimes I have to like swipe twice to get to the home screen.
I think it's
I
like
think
the
some games do
long,
that and
the
stuff,
long
but
drag thing. Like you got to do sometimes, like in a game, like if you're playing a game on iOS, you got to like long drag it and hold it, and then it comes
yeah.
up. Yeah,
Okay, I gotcha.
Slow drag.
low drag.
Yeah, slow drag. I like it. Very cool. They talked about the after car, so it's camera, CarPlay, and then call screening. So this has obviously come up a lot in the Androidian circles, where they're like, "Oh, we've had that on Android forever," and it's like, "Okay, well, you've had it on Pixels forever. I'll certainly give you that much." But this is also not carrier dependent, and it is not like, so you can get like call screening if you use like the Google Phone app on Google Fi, for example, if you don't have a Pixel. So this is not carrier dependent, and it is also not, device dependent. It looks like this is as part of iOS 26. This is going to be universal. So like if your phone supports iOS 26, it's going to be able to do call screening, since all it's doing is basically the same thing as the voicemail function, which is your callers, you're going to see who's calling, what they have to say, and then you can say, okay, yes or no, accept. So this doesn't seem like an Apple Intelligence feature. Did I miss that? Is that kind of the consensus?
I think they advertised it as Apple Intelligence, if I'm not mistaken.
They did? Okay, whoops. Well,
but and what does it do exactly? It picks up the phone for you, and then
and it shows you on your screen who's calling and what they're saying, so it does like live transcription of what they're saying.
I hope you can turn it off.
Didn't it?
You can do that for voicemails.
Yeah, you can do that for voicemails. So this is for actual like regular phone calls.
I'm guessing the way it works is if like someone calls you and they're in your contacts, it's not gonna like do that stuff. Mm-hmm. But like if it's like a random number and it might know like who they are, then it's gonna like ask them like what their business calling you is, and then they'll say. And if it's like a scammer that doesn't have like any voice or anything, it's just a bot scammer, then you'll most likely not even have to pick up the phone or do anything. You know, so
that's cool.
That's what I'm excited about.
That would be pretty nice.
The scammer calls, because I get them all the time.
Mm-hmm.
At least my phone's pretty good. It says it's like scam likely at the top of the at the top of the phone if you're not. You know.
I have a friend named Scam Likely, and so it confuses me a lot.
Wow! Oh boy, that must be rough. I would remove that person from your contacts list and see what happens. That would be really interesting.
Shout out to Spam. And they did Hold Assist as well.
Mm-hmm.
You see that?
Yes, that actually looks good. I did play with that on. I had a Pixel 6 for a little while. I played with for like a month, and that was on like Android 13. They had that. That was really cool because I had to make a couple phone calls where I had to sit on hold, and it was just like hold for me. And it was like I could see on my Pixel like when the other person picked up, and the Pixel was like, "This is a Google phone number, blah blah blah." Like, hold on, I'm gonna go get the actual caller for you now. When I talked to the lady, she was kind of like, "Is this a real person?" Like she asked me if I was a real person.
That's so funny.
So I'm sure
no
that's
more
gonna
elevator
happen.
music.
Yeah, that's gonna happen a lot. I liked their choice of the elevator music. I was like, oh god, I've heard that exact same music so many times. Like, has anybody else heard that one? Like, I think it's Xfinity. I think that's actually their hold music.
Oh yeah, I love that music.
Banger. All right. There's also the live transcription that they did from foreign languages into English and English into other languages, I assume. I noticed that when they were doing the FaceTime call with the French grandma and her granddaughter, the French lady was talking really slow. Like, for French, that was really slow. Like if you were a hick and you were French, you might talk that slow. I was like, yeah, I guess Apple Intelligence needs time to actually translate the words. So I'm interested to see how that works in real life.
Yeah.
Yeah. Apple did that grandma dirty.
Sure did.
I've never tried having AI translate things. I usually just use Google Translate or something. So that'll be interesting for sure.
Yeah, it's been a while. There was a restaurant, a Mexican restaurant my mom and I used to go to, and they were like, we'll say pretty authentic. Our favorite server spoke like no English, but he was really funny. He always did like tricks at the table with like cups and stuff. It's a whole thing. We used the Translate app on the iPhone back then to like talk to him, and so I would be interested to see how much that's improved with Apple Intelligence. So that would, hopefully it's better, but I mean they could do it a few years back without Apple Intelligence, so I hope that's only improved since then.
Well, ChatGPT seems to be able to translate.
Oh, okay.
At least
give credit to Apple.
very...
ChatGPT.
Well, I mean, it was just what I opened up to see if it could do it. So, anyways.
Yeah, I feel like it's a good starting point. I hope as it gets better, it'll be pretty like instantaneous with when people are
Hmm.
talking, so that people can have actual conversations. But this is a good start, I think.
Hmm.
Right on. Any thoughts on the what is it? The the API for like the image playground API. They talked about that for a little bit, and then they did live translation.
I mean,
Lyrics
as a developer,
translation.
sorry.
Go ahead. No.
Oh,
I didn't know you were about to talk. Go ahead, please.
oh, it's okay. I was just gonna say, I mean, I don't personally care for Image Playground. I haven't used it even one time, but as a developer, it's kind of cool to see that they're opening up all that stuff um, to other developers and stuff. So,
Hmm.
like I saw it like later on. I can't remember if it was in the actual keynote or in the platform State of the Union, but they were talking about how they're opening up like the on-device AI models to developers as well, which is pretty cool. So,
I think that
Yeah,
is
that's always a good
actually.
thing.
I do think that'll be something that differentiates Apple from the Google side of things. Like Google recently talked about Gemini Nano, which is like an on-device um, intelligence, like LLM kind of thing. Um, but it's just a demo app. Like when they announced it, they made it sound like it was like a full-fledged thing that was going to be baked into Android 16, but it's actually just like an API that the developers can use. So I'm wondering if it's Apple's doing something similar with this. Is what it seems kind of seems that way at least.
If I'm going to be honest,
cool.
I find Image Playground to be very embarrassing for Apple. Um,
It's not great.
it just it's not great, and it just makes really like really bad AI images. Like
Hmm.
maybe
Just
if
go,
this was 4 years ago, it would be cool, but um,
yeah,
it just makes AI slop.
yeah, just go use Midjourney or Dolly.
It's like
Yeah.
worse
So I
than
don't know.
Dolly though. I feel like.
So like maybe if you're a French grandma, like it's good, but
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I just don't. I'm not going to use it, and it's not a good like example of what AI can do, in my opinion.
Hmm.
Apple should be embarrassed.
Yeah, that's not. Yeah, like I said, it's not great. Not at all.
Yeah, I used it once
But
and
at least yeah.
it spit out the worst image I've ever seen. And then I never picked that back up. I was like,
Same.
yep.
I think I've used it one time and I tried to generate two images because the first time I was like, this sucks. So I tried again and it also sucked. And then I've tried Genmoji. I've tried making Genmoji and it just creates stupid variations of the same emoji and it's like, okay, can you do something different? Like it's like it needs you to write like a novel and then it will start to get good.
Hmm.
At least they changed the icon.
I mean, I think that's universal for this update. Speaking of things that have changed that, in my opinion, probably haven't changed enough, the Games app.
Hmm.
Ta-da! We have a Games app, everybody. It's finally,
Yippee.
yay! it's here.
Mhm.
This is what we've been asking for all along.
So yeah, are we in love or do we hate it? Or you like me? Are you feeling a little disappointed? I mean,
It's very underwhelming.
yeah. Even here on the beta, it's not a whole lot to it. I mean,
Yeah, like on the beta, I get it's a beta and it's not gonna work as if it was, you know, fully published. But like you can already see like that there's just nothing to it. You got four tabs up top and a little filter, and that's it. Like there's no other functionality. There's no manually adding games or anything like that.
yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping for
Yeah.
a Steam competitor. I know that's like a very unrealistic thing, but this is not a Steam competitor. It's like if you
Yeah.
click on the library tab, it is hard to find your games, like the game that you want. No way to sort them by uh, alphabetical order. There's just nothing I see.
That's not true. I'm,
You can
I'm,
do
I'm
name.
looking at
You
it
can do
right
name.
now. Yeah, you can do name. You can do recent or
You can do
name,
name.
and then you can do controller support, installed games, or Apple Arcade.
It's not great.
Yeah, which I only have Sonic Dream Team installed. That's not true. I have Final Fantasy IX on here. Why is it only showing me Sonic Dream Team?
Yeah, it's not functioning.
It's not in
Hopefully,
great condition right now. That's for sure.
yeah, hopefully they'll build it up a little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was hoping that it would be able to replace Phoenix, the app that I made, but is apparently not yet. So
Phoenix still on top.
Download Phoenix. Download Phoenix.
Yeah,
everybody.
download Phoenix, everybody. Get good.
Actually, I see Phoenix on the game's app. I see it. Just shows up as a game.
Yeah, it's probably because it's set as in the games category and stuff. So.
You're a game of our game. I think what I wanted most out of the games app that we didn't get is there's nothing that I'm not gonna say nothing that allows you to do like achievement tracking, because you can go to a game like I'm looking at Sniper Elite 4 right here on my iPad, and it has a leaderboard, and then it has achievements, but you can only it's not in any way meaningfully improved from the Game Center app that's in settings as far as achievements go. And I think what I really wanted more than anything was, I'm not going to say mod support because that's really difficult to pull off with the way Apple has things designed in on iOS and iPadOS. But I think, I mean, even App Store on Mac, but I think you could have a little more flexibility on Mac. I really would have liked to have seen a place where you can congregate more as a community. I know I rely a lot on guides on Steam when I'm trying to get like a specific achievement or accomplish something that's particularly difficult in the game. If you've watched any of my streams, you know how much I struggle with boss battles. So it's like, I would have liked to have seen something like that where the community can contribute more. And maybe that's something that's coming down the road, but that's definitely not where we're at right now. And I think also when you're looking at like the details of a game, it kind of shows you the basics and then just gives you a link that says view in the App Store. So
yeah, it feels very tied to the App Store, which I'm not a fan of. I wish it was. It doesn't feel like it's a own thing, you know.
Yeah.
Feels like an fleshed out game center, just kind of like with more UI.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of like if you were in the App Store and then right-click the Games tab and then hit Open a New Window. This is what you get.
That's actually quite funny. And then some games don't work. Like I just finished Steins Gate HD. I got all the achievements on it, but when I tap on it, it just says cannot connect. The page couldn't be loaded. Try again. It's like, okay.
Yeah,
I wonder if that's just because it's not installed at the moment. I'm not sure. Yeah, if I tap on View, I would think it takes me to the App Store, but it doesn't.
Jay Fishing, did you just get my friend invite?
Friend invite?
I tried to invite you as a friend.
I have no idea where you would even go for that. Play together. Oh, I see
Great.
it.
I'm just doing a quick search to see if I can find Steins Gate HD in the App Store. Oh my gosh, they have a lot of Steins Gates games in here. I didn't realize that. Where's mine? Where's the one I have that I've played and I've bought already? Doesn't exist. Well, I'm glad I got all the achievements for this game that no longer exists. They have Japanese versions of the game, so it's like, okay, well, maybe I can use Live Translate to go screen by screen and figure out how to beat this game.
The top free game listed on the game app is Steam Link.
Are you serious? Hold on. Where is that at? Is that under home or what?
Home, scroll down.
Oh gosh. Hold on. It's lagging out. Hold on. Okay. Scroll down. Scroll down. Top played game.
Oh, the top free game. Steam Link.
Top arcade. Mine says Fortnite. Top free games is Fortnite.
Oh, you're on iOS though.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The top
Free Fortnite
6
Mac.
on Mac, I guess, is Steam Link, Asphalt, Legends Unite, Solitaire, Epic, Resident
How is
Evil 2,
Asphalt Legends
Asphalt 8.
still topping the charts? That's crazy.
Yeah.
It's on like everything too. Like I saw it. Like I think it was even in like the sizzle reel during like the Nintendo Switch 2 presentation. I'm like, how are they still porting that game to new consoles and stuff?
That thing must be so unoptimized, and they're like, it doesn't matter, we'll make sales.
Oh,
Like, it doesn't
man.
matter. 30% doesn't matter,
Yeah.
we'll make sales. It's like they must just be killing it. Like all the development's done, so they just basically have to just add new cars and new tracks.
Mhm.
Surprised Liza P isn't on the top 25 paid games.
Yeah, I don't buy this.
I'm confused on how they get their data. Like Valheim's in there. Control's already in there, but that I'm sure was pretty popular.
I have one friend, his name is FitBear7189, and he's like playing everything. He looks like he plays everything one time and then just plays something else. Like he's just just trying to find like, it's like, I'm gonna play all the arcade games at least once. Shout out to FitBear.
Sounds like a cool dude.
Top arcade game, Uno.
I'll believe it.
Where's
I don't want to
Bellagio?
look at this app anymore. This app's making me angry.
Yep. I have Uno as well. Sneaky Sasquatch is behind Uno Arcade Edition. Wow, guys. Okay, well, I think that's all I've got to say about the games app.
Yeah, poo-poo.
Yeah, let's never talk about it again.
All right, then. Well, that's it. Apple Gaming SE out. WatchOS 26 is the next big part of the presentation of the keynote. I think it still looks a lot like the old iOS 7 style with the menus. Like a lot. Like I know they've got like good, the control center and stuff has the glass look to it. But when you actually get through the menus, it's still clearly very iOS 7-y.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it looked like a pretty minimal refresh to me.
Do we think the UI is just maybe too much like demand for the limited hardware set that's in like the Apple Watch? It's like, sorry, we can't run all of the pretty graphics and track your heart rate at the same time. So
I just think it's like so small that like, what difference does it make? It's such a like the UI in WatchOS is super minimal, so I don't know.
Shouldn't be that hard to run. I feel like it. I don't know.
I mean, I would hope not.
Yeah, but Shock is right. It's like such a small screen. It's not a lot to work with. So like, other than like the buttons,
yeah,
or like
if they add
control
too much,
center
it's
or
gonna
whatever.
look too busy. Like, I'm looking at my watch right now, and I'm like, I honestly don't know how they would add more liquid metal to this, because it's like mostly just black.
Glass.
Liquid glass.
Oh yeah, liquid glass. Sorry, it's like mostly just black with a few like colors and stuff. It's just kind of, I don't know. It's interesting.
Yeah, I honestly did not watch the Watch OS part of the keynote.
Yeah, I didn't pertain much to that part. There's only so much you can do with WatchOS, I feel like, UI. So
yeah, for sure. I was hoping though. I think I was just, for how much they've talked up liquid glass, I was just hoping that the actual like menus would look a little more liquid glassy,
Mm-hmm.
But that doesn't seem to be the case.
What else did they announce for WatchOS?
Let's see. They had.
Main thing I remember was Workout Buddy.
Oh, Workout Buddy. I was gonna call it Run Coach, but that's something else. Somebody else has Run Coach, not.
Oh. Yeah,
is that a free?
They're gonna have. I think so. They're just gonna your watch is gonna hype you up while you're working out.
Keep going.
You're doing a great job, Jimothy, as you continue to run.
There's a new.
I mean, I'll try it, but I feel like I'm gonna turn it off probably. It'll probably just bug me mostly.
You got the Shock.
Yeah.
You're doing a wonderful job, Shock, as you continue to work out. It's like figure out your name for a second. Load the variables.
You look so strong. Shock.
Man, I'm just getting such an ego booster.
Was there live language translation?
I don't I think
Not on the
so. Well, it'll show you that on the watch, but I think it offloads that onto the phone.
Hmm.
So you can't I think it's I got the impression that it was only for texting. Yeah, it says live translation, but I can't imagine that's processing is happening on device. Like there's no way if on the iPhone it requires 4 gigs just to run Apple Intelligence, there's no way it's running that on the phone or the watch, I mean.
It'd be crazy.
I'm looking at a recap here, and it also says that there was a new gesture to dismiss notifications. I do remember that actually, and that was a pretty nice little feature that I look forward to using.
How
But
does that work?
it's like when the notification pops up, you can just kind of flick your wrist and it'll go away
Oh, that's cool.
instead of having to tap the dismiss button. So
Because they
I'll
have the
definitely
finger
use that.
tap thing to pick up calls,
Yeah, exactly.
like the thumb to the fore to the pointer finger or whatever.
Yeah, that's crazy that it can detect that.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it seems like it can do mute incoming calls, silence timers and alarms, and close the smart stack.
Hmm. Yeah.
I don't know what the smart stack
Anyways.
is though. I haven't used my Apple Watch in quite a bit.
Yeah, I think it's overdue for like a legitimate hardware refresh.
Yeah. Well, I thought the S10 and the Ultra 2 was pretty good because those are the first Apple Watches with a triple core processor, and I think that I want to say they doubled the RAM. Wasn't it? Didn't it go from like 1.5 gigs to 3 gigs or something? I don't have Mac Tracker up to look. I can look real quick, I guess, but
I'm not sure.
I know they went to a triple core processor. I know that.
I also, yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
I was just gonna say they're expensive. I'm waiting for like the cheaper ones to have some sort of new design to makes me want it.
Yeah, I think sales are like going down, so they're
Yeah.
it's definitely time.
Other watch maker, other smart watches are catching up and stuff. So
Well, I mean,
Yeah.
I'll say it. I got a Garmin Forerunner here recently. I mean,
Whoa.
I've had an Apple Watch for years. I had the Apple Watch Series 1. That's where I started.
Wow.
So there's the original Apple Watch that they called like that they jokingly call just Series 0. And then they did like the refresh of it, which is basically the same thing except it had a dual core processor, and they called it Series 1, and then they announced Series 2. So there's like the Apple Watch first generation, and then in 2016 they released the Apple Watch Series 1. That's where I started. And then I got a Series 3, and then I jumped to the 7. And that's the last thing I did. I went to a Garmin Forerunner after that because I started playing around with the Galaxy Watch. Like I bought a cheap Samsung Galaxy phone for my other channel, and I played with the Galaxy Watch, and I thought it was just such a better interface to work with. But I hate Samsung's privacy policy. Like they will tell you straight up, like you can opt out of like personalization, but we're still going to sell all your data to advertisers. We just won't personalize your ads. Like like straight up, they tell you to your face, and it's like okay, well at least they're honest about it. So, so I stopped doing Samsung Health and the Apple or the Galaxy Watch after a couple weeks, and sold all of that.
How do you like the Jarman?
I do like the Garmin. Did you say Jarman?
No.
I like the Garmin for its simplicity. I got the really basic. I got the Forerunner 55, which is like their basic one. It doesn't have like a OLED screen or anything. It's like a MIP, like the old Game Boy screens.
yeah,
I
had a Forerunner 35 a while back, I think.
Yeah,
And it was like that too.
It's nice. I mean, the fact that you don't have to charge it like once every 8 days is fantastic. You can put a lot of information on this little screen at a glance, and I think that might be I hate to say the biggest like turnoff for me is I cannot get the Apple Watch UI to really look the way I want it to look and to feel the way I want it to feel. And I think that's why I'm going with something else. But I like the fact that even without like the subscription to their premium service, Garmin will give you access to all these like different community features, and like they'll do like run coaching and stuff like that. They'll be like, okay, you need to run faster, you need to slow down. You can set these like paces so you can like start out at a strong run and go easier, or switch it. You know, you can start an easy run and end at a hard run. So it's very, very like, I'm focusing on running. I'm sure that there's tons of other workout modes that I'm not even touching. And one of the guys I work with is like a Phoenix 7, so he's one of the top end Garmin's, and he loves that thing. It's got an OLED screen, and so it's pretty cool. But
it's not good when Apple fanboys are migrating to.
No, it's not. It's not. That's the thing. Like I worked for these people, so yeah. It's Anyway, so yeah. Unfortunately, Apple Watch. I think WatchOS 26 is just a little bit underwhelming, and so is the Apple Watch. And I think we're all in agreement on that. Any dissenters?
Agreed.
I'll say. So say we all. Moving on. Apple TV, they touched on the UI for Apple TV a little bit. We got some tennis with your friends and neighbors, and then they teased a couple of the shows they're working on. They got ads for Chief of War, which is a new series with Jason Momoa. That's Jason Momoa's second on Apple TV Plus, where he's the leading man. Foundation Season 3 is coming, which I'm super excited about. Slow Horses with Season 5.
Mm-hmm.
Loot. I don't even know what Loot is. I've never even heard of it. Highest to Lowest, which has the only Washington that I'll ever trust, Denzel. And The Lost Bus, which when I heard that Apple was making this, and somebody in a review said something to the effect that it was like the most intense like thriller like trailer they'd ever seen, and I was like, it looks a little like unbelievable. Like I think the what was the Godzilla series that Apple TV did? Monarch?
Yeah.
Was it Monarch? I forget the name. I think it was Monarch.
Yeah.
I think the CGI in that looks a lot better than the Lost Bus here than this movie. And then I have not watched or heard of Invasion, and apparently they're on the 3rd season of Invasion.
Never heard of it.
This is why they're losing $1 billion a year. It's because the Apple fanboys haven't heard of these things.
I've been out of Apple TV, and it's been a while. I haven't been up to it. TV. It's been a while.
Yeah, I came back for Severance, and then I haven't really watched anything else.
Same. It was Severance. We binged Severance 1 and Season 2. We got caught up on Season 2. We actually had to like wait for week to week. Mm-hmm. So like Apple, you got a little extra money out of me this time.
Yeah.
But
I binged Season 1 in like 2 days. It's so good.
Yeah.
I feel like all these streaming services, there's always just going to be that one show that you want to watch and binge, and then the next streaming service, it's going to have that other thing that you want.
I think some streaming services are better. Like HBO has some bangers, and I wish Apple, the quality was a little higher, like more consistently.
They're the highest quality ones, though, MPT.
Yeah, they're the highest quality, highest quality programming, according to Timothy Cook, based on no metrics whatsoever that we've been able to see. I would tell you, I think Netflix and Amazon Prime both have like enough of a content on there that you'll find something you like. I think that's Amazon does something interesting where I kind of hate this. Even if you're paying for Prime, you can watch a lot of the like foreign shows that they dub, but you still have to watch ads. And I think that's how they like afford doing it. And I don't think Apple's ever going to have ads like that in Apple TV Plus. No.
I would love for them, this is stupid, but like to have like a live channel where they like have scheduling and play different shows at different time slots.
So you want us to go back, like step back?
Cable. I want cable.
No. It's not that crazy Apple of an idea. No. Hear me out. It's not that crazy of an idea, because years ago, I used to do this. In iTunes, you could go to iTV, which was Internet TV, and then just connect to a broadcaster and just watch all of their programming over the internet. I mean, they had to make it available, of course, but like you could do that in iTunes back in the day.
Yeah, I kind of like
Well,
just
I
like
didn't know
turning
that.
on the TV and letting things play. So I'm sure there's some sort of feature, but
You know, Samsung TV and Google TV both have free channels. And that's exactly what they do. Like it's just find like like within that app you can find a channel or a category, and it'll just play like we have a Vizio TV that has like MST3K, so like Mystery Science Theater 3000, like 24/7.
Such a good
That's
show.
all it does. Oh my gosh, it's a fantastic show. But that's all it does.
I love
It's
that show.
24/7. It's just MST3K. So yeah, we make the baby watch it sometimes. We're like, okay, we're just gonna sit you down here.
watch it.
Yeah, she's like way too young to understand, but she'll watch it. She doesn't know what she's watching, but she don't care. She's like, oh great. Like mommy and daddy need a break from your screaming, so watch them make fun of the old movies. We're again not talking about Apple. We're talking about what Apple isn't. Not a good look. Not a good look. All right. We're going on to Tahoe. Let's go and talk about Tahoe. This is the big one. Y'all are going to have a lot more to say about this than I will, I think, since I'm not running the beta. So macOS Tahoe is here. I did download the wallpaper, though, and put it on my computer at work. It doesn't quite have the same feel on Windows that it does on macOS, to no great surprise. And but a lot of what we've already talked about is on macOS Tahoe, except maybe GPTK3, which it sounds like y'all know more about than I do. I don't know if one of y'all wants to take it away and discuss what it does, what its benefits are, what it might bring to the table for us as Apple gamers.
That's Jay Fish's specialty.
Jay Fish, you're up.
Yeah, GPTK3 is here. Do we want to start right off at GPTK, or do we want to like talk about Tahoe in general? Or
I'm
GPTK,
okay
EPT.
The people have spoken.
Easy. I'm easy. Whatever y'all want to do. I was gonna say we can talk about Tahoe generally and then ease into it.
Yeah,
but
we could do that.
Yeah, because GPTK is gonna be a lot more of a, I think, a narrow conversation. It's gonna be pretty specific. Well, I will let one of y'all take it away. All I'm going to say is colored folders. Thank God it's about time. That's what I'm most excited about is colored folders.
What color are you guys running?
I got dark gray going.
I don't have the beta, so mine are still blue.
Oh yeah,
lame.
On Tahoe, I forgot. What colors would you two do? I guess you can't like really look, but you guys.
Well, let me ask.
No, I mean I needed to match my capuchin theme, so whatever goes with that.
So right now it gives you like 6 colors to choose from, and then it gives you like a color wheel, but the color wheel does not work currently.
Well, once the color wheel works, I will be
6 colors is all you need. We only had 8 back in macOS 9. Come on, guys. I was gonna ask, can you do like per folder color? Like, can you do a color per folder, or is it like you pick a color and that's across everything?
You can right click a folder and choose a specific color for it.
Nice. That's what I used to do. Actually, I actually have a number of folders on my system currently that I have replaced the desktop icon for with just a different icon, so that I immediately know what they are. Like if I just like take a look, I'm like, oh, okay, that's that folder, that's that, like, and it's just without even looking at the name. So I'll probably just be doing that. I'll probably just be color coding all my folders.
Yeah.
Did I say that you could add like an emoji or a custom icon to the folders?
Yeah, it looks like that in the presentation. Like they've got a number of folders with like cactuses on them and stuff like that.
Yeah, you can right click the folder and choose customize folder, and then it gives you all these little glyphs you can choose from.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
Very cool.
Yeah, while we are talking about colors, I guess like the icons. I forgot we already talked about icons, I think, a little bit. Or was that in the first cut that didn't make it?
We definitely talked about it, but I can't remember.
I just mentioned like the tinting is nice.
Yeah.
Like, I thought that was like OS on iOS though, but
yeah. So I've got like a gray type of glass tinting to all my icons, and I like the look of the docket. It's amazing. But like when you're looking in the app drawer or like looking around for things, it's very hard to look for that specific app because everything looks the same, you know. So that's
Right.
one minor complaint I have.
Yeah, what's the
I'm
trade-off
sticking
you
with
gotta
dark mode for now. So you get like the dark icons, but they still have like little bits of color in it.
that would help. I will say, this is kind of slightly unrelated, but like the new icon composer that they released for making the icons is super easy to use. I like whipped up a
Oh,
custom I whipped up a custom icon in like 2 minutes with it. It was crazy.
yeah. Tell us about that because I tried to get it going with Xcode. I could not figure out how to use it.
It's a separate app. Once you install Xcode, it also installs the like you have to install the macOS dev tools, I think, and then it'll add the icon composer app
Oh,
That's
okay.
instead.
interesting.
So yeah, but yeah, like once you have it open and stuff, you just drag and drop your vector graphics into it and stuff, and it just adds a new glassy layer for each one. So it was very easy
Nice.
once I figured that out.
That's
Interesting that you
awesome.
have to do Xcode. Is it meant for like
It's
developers only,
very
or
much yeah, it's meant for developers to create the icon for their app. I mean, it's definitely something that people will use to create custom icons,
okay,
but
power user type thing?
it's a lot easier than using Figma, probably. But yeah, it's a neat little utility there.
Yeah.
Yeah, check that out. Anybody else hate how Discord sticks out like a sore thumb in their dock now?
Yeah,
Just
mine
make a custom Discord.
it sticks out sometimes, or sometimes it kind of fixes itself. So I'm just gonna chalk it up to beta 1 type things.
Does it automatically apply the glassy effect to everything,
Uh,
or it tries to?
it tries to, but some apps just don't look correct. Just depends. I think it's, once it's out for a while and the Mac developers see it, it'll be
Yeah.
looking good.
Hope so.
Okay, well.
Well, can I tell my favorite part of Tahoe right
Oh,
now?
by all means, please.
The phone app. I think I've been waiting for a phone app for a long
Oh,
time.
yeah, that's on iPad OS 26 now. I see that. I'm actually looking at it right here in front of me. There's a phone app. I didn't even
Yeah,
look at it.
FaceTime. The
They've got the
FaceTime
journal
app
app
is
too.
way too limited in my experience. But this, like, you select a name, you get their whole contact card. I think this makes me a lot more likely to use the Mac to make calls. So I'm keeping it in my dock, and I right next to my messages app, and I really dig it.
Nice.
I feel like I always there was a time where I tried to use the Mac to like intercept calls and stuff, but half the time it just never worked. So I just always just had to pick up the phone for it. But it's nice
Right.
that
They advertise Tahoe as having better like continuity and handoff stuff, so I'll have to test out how
Mm-hmm.
well it can like transfer calls and stuff.
Lots of
definitely,
good continuity features.
yeah, that's
I
what Apple
still
does
use
best.
Universal Clipboard all the time. It's so good.
Hmm. Oh, true. That reminds me of the Spotlight update, which is also really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, man, that looks
They're
incredible.
they were trying very hard to kick Raycast off my computer. Let me tell you.
Yeah, I feel bad for Raycast.
Yeah, I was about to say. I know y'all. I've looked at Raycast, like I've seen videos for it. It doesn't look like anything I would use personally,
Mm.
but it. I could see the appeal of it certainly, but the new
It's
Spotlight, like, pretty dope. Look, I think it just looks good, like the way they integrate it into the rest of the UI. Obviously.
mhm.
Yeah, it's
It was
very
very tempting.
featurey.
It's very tempting. I might check it out when I upgrade later this year, but yeah, I don't know. I have a few must-have Raycast plugins that I use, and I use the window management and stuff like that. So we'll have to
Maybe you
see.
can use both.
Maybe I don't want to have to memorize two. I don't have to use two different keyboard shortcuts though.
Yeah, true. The coolest thing, in my opinion, is if you're using an app, say like Final Cut Pro,
Oh yeah.
um, you can pull up Spotlight and search like record voiceover, and it'll give you different Final Cut shortcuts just
Mm.
to launch right away. So that's really neat.
Yeah, and you can create custom ones too. That did look really nice.
That
It's just like common sense. It's like very
Yeah.
smart, very useful.
It's a
definitely
very
the most.
Alfred. That was a very Alfred thing. I've definitely seen Alfred
Hmm.
people do stuff like that.
Right. And I like how they're kind of treating Spotlight like its own product. Like they clearly know that they've got a good thing going, and it looks like this is a good update for it.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a lot. It's so much more than just a search bar. So I'm glad that they're acknowledging that.
I guess I'm just
Yeah.
like too like Mac OS 10.5 a leopard. Like, it was just like, oh man, hitting Command Spacebar and like finding whatever you need by just typing it. Like I used it for like like quick math problems and stuff, but like I mostly use it just to find files or apps and just because it's faster. Like even when I'm setting up my streams, it's just faster to go Command Space and then type in Control OBS whatever it is and just do it that way.
Hmm.
Yeah, I think Spotlight's great. I think it's one of the highlights of owning a Mac. So now with this one, you can pull up Spotlight, you can press Command 1 to search applications, Command 2 just for files, Command 3 is shortcuts, and then Command 4 is a new clipboard.
Is that after hitting Command Space, or is that like you hit Command 1 from anywhere to bring up the search applications?
After Command Space.
Oh, okay.
Is that lame?
I mean, I feel like I would use those shortcuts a lot more if it was like instead of hitting Command Space, I hit Command 1 to bring up my applications and stuff.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
was kind of
true.
thinking that too. I'm actually now
Well, you
even
can just
curious
do
about.
Command Space and then search. It'll give you all of
Yeah,
it.
yeah, that's fair. It just feels
That's
like that extra step to filter is unnecessary if I have to hit Command Space Command 1. Like that's a big movement for my hand.
You
So,
should
I'm
write a letter. Write a
yeah
letter.
yeah
yeah.
apple.com/feedback. I'm just looking here at the keyboard shortcuts. It's in Sequoia. Um, there is not like a command 1, command 2 set of like preset you know shortcut keys. So I'm wondering if that
Mhm.
actually could work if you
It's
could just do command
it
1.
it is used by different apps. Like I just tried it and it like reloaded Zen and stuff, like
Oh,
my
okay.
browser.
All right. So
So
it's not
like
like
it would conflict um with some applications, which would be a downside.
well, maybe just do
Right.
command
But
space 1.
that's yeah,
I
that's
only
just
have
a
two hands.
huge that's like a really awkward reach. Like I can do it with one hand, but like that's a really weird movement. So
I guess that's
I
the
don't know.
main advantage, just doing it one-handed, huh?
Yeah,
That's probably why
exactly.
they're doing command space and then command 1. That's probably exactly why, because it can just be one hand. And Apple just being
Yeah,
Apple, they'll be like, you'll get used to it.
yeah.
And you guys know they rest in peace to Launchpad. It's gone.
It's fully
I
gone.
didn't even notice.
Pretty
That's
sure it was.
crazy, actually. Yeah, I
Thank
haven't.
God.
Launchpad's not even on my dock. It's
I
such
hate
a
Launchpad.
mess.
Yeah, it was a waste of
Yeah,
space.
it really is. It was a
But I
way
think like
way too long ago.
the thought process is now that you can do the applications and Spotlight, it kind of replaces it.
Yeah, I mean, it already fully replaced it.
Right. I don't even know why
Yeah.
they. I think they were trying to
Yeah.
be like, oh well, people like iPhones and iPads. Well, let's add it to the Mac. Because there was like a time where Apple was pushing the Mac to have a feel closer to that of iOS and iPad OS, and I think it's just left over from that era.
Yeah.
Definitely.
I think we're all just sick of it, and
I don't
not
know how
sorry
I
it's
feel
gone.
I
One,
about
also the
seeing
thing that
mobile
really
apps.
killed Launchpad. Sorry.
Oh,
Oh,
sorry.
that's okay.
I was still talking about
Uh,
Spotlight, like with their application drawer. I don't know how I feel about mobile apps just like being in
oh,
there,
where
like
they
yeah,
my
only
do
do.
phone.
that.
Yeah.
It launches iPhone mirroring.
Oh yeah, that's
Uh,
a hard no. I'm gonna have to turn that off.
Yeah.
Like those are like
If you
different
can.
devices that do different things. They don't. No, we're not doing that, fam.
Yeah, I just want to see my Mac apps in a drawer.
Okay.
Yeah, I was gonna say that the thing that really killed Launchpad for me is the fact that I install most of my apps with Homebrew, and every time an app updates, it gets pulled out of the folder that I put it in
Mm.
Mm,
and stuff. So like Launchpad just becomes a mess for me every time I update anything. So I just stopped using it. But
Yeah, I
same.
remember seeing like 300,000 freaking Steam apps that I still don't have like downloaded, but they just sit there when like even
mhm,
if you uninstall them, they're just like the shortcut, you know. It's just
yeah.
like
But yeah, and you spend so long organizing it that like it's just not worth it. So
yeah.
I'm not gonna miss it.
yeah,
I
me
didn't
neither.
even notice it was gone because I just never used
Yeah,
it.
right. I don't think
That's
I
so
picked up on
funny.
that either. That's yeah.
Oh yeah, this like WWDC summary that I'm looking at says right under macOS Tahoe, the last thing says macOS Tahoe transforms Launchpad into app library.
Mm,
That's interesting. Hmm.
Was that not? Is that not just the applications folder? Like,
Yeah,
what
pretty
about
right.
the
much.
what about the stack? Hold on, like in the dock, does anybody have that where they have the stack set up where it's just your applications and you click on the
Mhm.
applications icon and it shows like it fans out like it used to in like Snow Leopard days?
Yeah,
I
it's
do that with my
still
folder
fans
with
out.
my downloads, but
I have that on my downloads too, but I was like, does anybody do that with? Yeah, why don't we
no.
just doing that? What the heck, Apple? You're confusing me, bro. We can have a talk about this at our next board meeting.
They'll figure it out. I will be hosting a funeral for Launchpad in the Discord if anybody's interested.
Just gonna go ahead
I'll
and
be
tell
there.
you I won't be there.
We'll be
I
starting
never I
Launchpad.
never knew Launchpad, and it would be offensive if I showed up and pretended that I did.
Um, what else is
We
in
got the
Tahoe?
menu bar that's invisible, you know.
Mhm.
There's like no more
Oh
of a
I've
yeah,
seen
bar.
it.
yeah.
Kind of
I like
nice.
it.
I like that.
I
And then
think
we've
that I'll
also got.
like it because
Mhm.
sorry.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I was gonna say I think I'll like it because I have this obsession where my wallpaper must result in a good color for the menu bar.
Hmm.
Yeah.
And so not having that anymore will be kind of nice. I wonder, can I turn that off? I think I can actually like turn the menu bar off with bartender to see how that looks.
Are you
Probably. You
saying
still use Bartender?
you like having your wallpaper color bleed through the menu bar?
The menu bar, yes. I don't mind that at all, as long as it's a good color.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
Yeah, I don't mind it. I don't mind it coming through the menu bar either. But there's a part of me that misses the old just like solid white menu bar from Mac OS 10.4 and 10.5 days.
I just saw an app that gives you that, so I'll send that your way.
I think I had
Although
one.
We also
I had
have,
one for a long
yeah,
time, but I can't remember what it is now.
there's definitely a demand for it still. We've
Yeah,
also
yeah.
got menu bar controls now, like this little
Mm.
control center thing, which looks really nice, I think.
Let me see if I can find it in
Lots
the
of
video.
new options. You can add controls. Um, I think the most notable and kind of silly one is vehicle mute motion cues are now available on Mac. So if you're constantly driving and computing at the same time, you will no longer get motion sick.
What?
I like that it's available for devs to add their own controls to it too.
Yeah.
So that would be really cool. See what
And they're
people do.
nice big liquid glass buttons that look really nice.
Yeah, they do. They do look nice though.
You can do energy mode, which I'm definitely going to do. Um, fast user switching, screenshot, a whole bunch of accessibility stuff, voice memos, some good stuff.
Oh, you can do like I don't. Has this been a thing before where you can do like your smart home controls from the control center? Because it looks like you can add. Looking at the keynote here, it looks like you can add them now. Like yeah, you can add a
Yeah, I think you
scene
can
or
Yeah.
add specific
accessory.
scenes.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's moving in the right direction. I think
Yeah,
it's a little less like the iPhone version and a little bit more Mackie.
yeah, it definitely needs to be. I mean, I don't think I have. I'm looking at like my little control center here, and it's like, man, this thing is sad.
Mm.
I'm glad they're coming around on this. That's good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The whole operating system kind of feels like Sequoia to me, just kind of with like a shiny new layer of paint, and I think it works.
Yeah, it's got like a curvy, glassy skin on top of Sequoia.
Yeah,
It's just an icon pack. That's all.
Exactly.
that's
Yeah.
it. That's all it is.
They just got a different launcher. They went to Android and got the Nova launcher, and then just put the glass theme on top of it. And they're like, "There it is, Mac OS 26.
Ship it now.
Ship it now. We don't need a beta."
What
All right.
else?
Any
What
other
else?
thoughts on? Well, I was gonna say macOS Tahoe generally before we talk about things more gaming related.
Well, shocking.
let me see.
Anything interesting in Xcode?
I haven't really looked through Xcode too much yet. I need to do that still.
No, okay.
I heard it
But
looks good.
yeah, I mean it doesn't look good. It doesn't look any different for me because I'm still on Sequoia. But no. The only other thing that I was going to mention was that apparently this is the last version of macOS that's going to be on the Intel Macs.
hmm
Mm,
Oh
And they
man,
didn't support the 2020 Intel Air.
Yeah, there's four. I think there's like four Intel Macs that will be compatible with this, and then after that they're done.
Yeah.
so this
It's
is like the
kind of
new
crazy.
baseline OS for everything.
Hmm.
I was about to say it's gonna be like more than ever now. I need to like buy like a 2019 Mac Pro for a decent price.
Mm,
I want another.
Yeah.
I know. I'm down to at this point. I'm just down to my Mac Mini and then my wife's M2 MacBook Air. But like, I really do want another Intel Mac just to say I have one before they're like dead and gone. Like, I still have a PowerPC G4 Mac Mini, and I'm kind of like,
Wow.
okay, I need to get like a good Intel Mac before they're the
Yeah,
thing of the past.
that's cool.
I do have an Intel Mac. I'll have to see if it's compatible. Oh, it's definitely not. It's
Yeah,
definitely.
well, well, actually, I say that we have a 2017 dual core, but it obviously won't run Tahoe. Well, it might through OCSP, OCLP, um, but I don't know. It's not. It's barely hanging in there. It's like it's really hot. The battery needs service. It's like it's barely hanging in there as it is. If I try to like record OBS on that thing at like 3,000 kilobits per second, it's like barely able to maintain 30 FPS. It's like, okay,
Kill
clearly,
me.
yeah, I was gonna say clearly you're past your prime, friend. It won't be long now. You won't have to suffer much longer.
Shelf life.
Yeah. Sorry, go ahead.
It's just I'm joking.
No, okay. I think just like
But
overall, like a lot of the Apple like built-in apps look really nice. Like Photos, iTunes, not iTunes, Music, what else?
I just hope that third
Maps.
parties, yeah, I was gonna say, I just hope third party like developers get on board with this styling and really try to adopt it.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it looks nice. It does look nice.
I really noticed the curve windows. It's very, very noticeable.
It
Maybe because I
is.
have it
More than they are
next
already.
to, yeah, like I have maps open next to Discord, which Discord hasn't updated anything yet, but Discord's like very sharp compared to
Hmm.
maps. It's very, very noticeable.
Interesting.
Yeah, I like it.
Oh yeah, looking at that picture of Finder that I was talking about earlier, I definitely see it. That's cool.
Right, like it doesn't hit any of the corners of my monitor.
Hmm.
Yeah, you just got like these pixels shining through.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Um, all right, do we go to gaming? I think that's it.
Yeah.
So, so, so far for
All right.
Tahoe.
So J
I
Fish
mean,
hit us with the A3 stuff.
Tahoe.
Yeah.
Tahoe. I think we thought that it was gonna come with Metal 4, but it seems like some investigating and system report says it still says Metal 3. So
In the beta right
Interesting.
now?
yeah, so
Okay.
I'm guessing like testing's not over with. Like I guess once Metal 4 ships, there's gonna be some more testing to do with maybe how that like interlocks with GPTK3, because I don't think there's been a huge performance increase like just regularly running it compared to the old one. But the big thing is Metal FX and frame generation. Being able to use that is pretty sweet.
Have you messed with it at all?
I have been
I
messing with
I do know the answer to that. I'm just trying to lead you.
I have been
How
messing
is
with
it?
it. It's pretty cool. To be able to open up a game window or setting and do like DLSS performance, even though it's Metal FX in the background, is pretty cool. And just slight testing with like image comparisons. It looks like Metal FX is a little bit sharper than FSR3, so that's pretty cool.
What
sick.
games have you tested that in? I know the Stellar Blade demo and crossover, but what else?
Stellar Blade, Kazan, the first Berserker Kazan, Mortal Shell, No Rest for the Wicked, Marvel Rivals.
And it works in all of them.
You would say, yeah, so you would say it's better in all of those than the FSR?
I would say I mean there's a few where it didn't really test like max performance, so I was just going off of like image comparisons and
sure.
just like playability and stuff like that. But I would say just there is some issues with running Metal FX too. There's with Stellar Blade was one of them where the game just doesn't want to boot if you have DLSS turned on, so you gotta have that turned off before starting the game, which kind of sucks. But
I've also seen some people having controller issues, but that's probably user error, to be honest.
Definitely a lot of that in the Discord.
User error?
Oh, for sure.
No, the controller issues, but that too.
both.
Yeah. And then we got the HUD updates, which are really nice.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's really cool.
Are you able to make the HUD
sleek.
smaller?
You're able to make it smaller, bigger.
Really?
You can change the opacity.
Love that.
You could add and delete certain metrics that you want. So it's really cool.
I'd love to be able to only have the FPS because otherwise it just takes up so much screen space.
Yeah,
you can
do
yeah.
FPS only.
That's so good. I'm so happy with that.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, but you said though, Jay Fishin reported that you can't like save it the way you want it for all games. Like each game you have to manually change
so
it.
like when you boot up a game,
time?
so when you boot up a game, it's gonna come up with like the default metrics, but then you gotta go in and tell it what to do. There's a little window configuring window that pops up next to the HUD that you can mess with.
I would hope they will fix that.
Maybe we'll find some environment variables to set or something.
Yeah.
So there is a export HUD button, and it exports a plist file, and it has like I don't know the certain things that you did to the HUD to get it to look that way.
So you can just go from like Mac to Mac with that?
Well, it spits out the plist, right? But it's like I'm not sure where that goes. So it's like
maybe it's something they haven't
I put that
implemented yet.
Yeah, so it's like do you put that into the app that you're like building or something like that? Because I try to do it with like crossovers plist, and you have to re-sign the app and stuff like that to change.
I didn't like that.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, so it would be cool if like you could build your own HUD the way you want it, like say like just FPS only, export the file, and then like give it to like CX Patcher, and then CX Patcher can like patch in that to crossover. So crossover only uses that as the default HUD.
That'd be pretty sick.
Is my thinking. That would be like cool, but like who knows if it actually works that way.
You could go submit an issue on the CX Factory GitHub or something.
Yeah, go tell GSNX.
um,
Yeah, during the keynote, I was like kind of disappointed with the whole gaming thing, even GPTK at the time. But now that like we're a few days out, um, I think it's more of a bigger deal than I thought. Like a whole bunch of games that weren't playable before are now playable. So like we got Deathloop going, Horizon Zero Dawn Remaster, Avatar, Assassin's Creed Mirage, Assassin's Creed Valhalla.
Yeah, there's a ton of things in the Discord under the gaming news where they've got
Yeah,
like
I've seen Hogwarts
all these
Legacy is
different.
running better. Just lots of good stuff, and it's really refreshing to know that, or to see that Apple is really treating GPTK well.
and
Well, I
now that
think
we
that
know that
there's-
Rosetta isn't gonna leave, that it's refreshing to know.
Yeah,
That's a
Yeah,
relief for sure.
so is the word on that they're keeping Rosetta just for gaming apps?
that's what they
Sounds
suggested in that little snippet. But they really are not giving a lot of information on that, which just makes me nervous. But
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I think it's going to be like the sort of thing where your average user doesn't just like download it like you would to run, I don't know, Steam or whatever. Like Steam probably won't work anymore once, but until they update stuff.
Well, it
But I
sounds
think
like
like
Jason X said Rosetta will be
oh,
around. It's just that you can't upload Intel apps to the App Store or something like that.
oh, okay, never mind then.
and Andrew
That's
Tsai did a great video on it today, I
yeah,
think,
I need to watch
and
that still.
he pointed out that Code Weavers has like a contingency plan for this, where like they are aware that Rosetta 2's days are numbered, and they think that they'll be able to, deal with it when it happens. So that's good.
That's good.
I think
Glad to
Apple's making a major. There's a potential for Apple to be making a major issue here with the way they're handling games. They got rid of all the 32-bit support, which like took out an entire class of games on Mac OS.
Yeah, just a terrible decision.
Yeah.
Terrible decision.
And then to do the same, if they're going to do the same thing with like Intel games, and so I'm hoping the Rosetta is going to stick around just for that reason alone, that they're going, okay, if we're going to build out the gaming ecosystem on Mac, like we can't treat games as if they're just another app, right? If somebody needs Microsoft Office or something for productivity, like that's going to get brought forward by the developer. But games are like, unless they're the freemium models where you constantly do in-app purchases, there's no continual revenue stream for games. So I can see from a business decision why they want to kill off old games to force people to make new games, but I think you're commoditizing games too much and you're not treating them like art. And I don't want to get like down too far down that rabbit hole, because I think in many respects art is a product. But I really hope Apple does not make that mistake and like eliminate all the x86 games that are, I mean, decades worth on Mac at this point. 20 years we're talking about.
Yeah, that'd be such a tone deaf decision.
Yeah, I hope they know that like gamers know that game preservation is a big thing for them, and killing off Rosetta would just be a huge like.
I think the concern for me is that if what Nintendo is doing with the Switch 2 is successful, then Apple will be encouraged to, like, if the Switch 2 continues to end up being like a viable product in the eShop and digital games on the Nintendo side of things, still proves to be profitable for them, Apple's going to go, okay, well, it's fine to like kill off old games that don't run on our architecture anymore.
What specifically do you mean with Nintendo? Like the fact that they're killing off like the Virtual Console and using their NSO subscription instead?
Pretty. It's things like that, and then the fact that Nintendo's going after like emulators and stuff like that.
For sure.
That Nintendo is basically like, if you want to play a GameCube game, you have to do it through Nintendo Switch Online or Nintendo Services Online, whatever it is.
Go buy a GameCube.
Right, or go buy a GameCube, and then you can stream it like on YouTube. But even then, they're pretty harsh. That's my worry, is that they're going to be a little too Nintendo-ish about it. And funny story I've told like people for years. I think like Nintendo is in many respects like the Apple of the console universe. in that they're very particular about their IPs and they're very particular about how things that run on their hardware operates. So,
Mm-hmm.
it's
Are you talking about Apple right now?
no, I'm talking about Nintendo. Like the way like Nintendo tries to emulate Apple.
So I was going to say Assassin's Creed Shadows does not run well.
Yeah, yeah, no. I'm talking about Nintendo specifically, like their IPs, how they want that to work on their hardware, that kind of stuff. So,
sure,
yeah, to kill off all the fan games and stuff. That's the thing that gets me.
yeah, that's definitely a worry I have. It's one of the reasons I'm like, I know some of y'all have bought the Switch 2, but like I think my wife and I are going to protest the Switch 2 for a while until Nintendo makes some changes to their policies.
Yeah, that's fair.
I'm just trying to see. Bring back Ryujinx.
For sure.
It's still there. It's just underground now.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah, that's just it. Isn't there there's like green Ryujinx or something like that, and then there's
Green Dev.
Green Dev, that's what it is, and then there's isn't there like a Cemu version that runs on I think some Switch stuff?
I think you're thinking of Suyu, which is gone.
Suyu, oh okay.
Yeah, no, Ryujinx is kind of the only one that's still alive, and that's mostly because they've like taken other stuff very, very private. Like they're self-hosting all of their code and stuff like that. They're not relying on any of the major code hosting platforms and stuff like that. So they can kind of like short of the Nintendo ninjas coming in and like destroying their servers, they can't technically take away their stuff or their work and stuff. So
trying to find the picture of the games that were announced.
Okay, well, anyway, that's my only worry about with Apple and killing off Intel stuff is that's my worry because I mean I got a ton of games in Steam that are made for Mac OS that run through Rosetta that run well. I would hate to see them go away.
Yeah, for sure. Well, NPT is looking for the games list. The game on there, I've said it a few times already, but like seeing Feed the Deep on that list is so funny to me because it's like a tiny little one guy indie game, and it's a fantastic game. Don't get me wrong, wonderful game, but it's made by one guy, and it's been on Mac since day one. He literally made it on a Mac and stuff. So it just seems funny that it's on that list with all of those other games that are not on the Mac yet.
I don't find it funny.
And it was released last year.
Yeah, like literally almost a year ago.
Yeah. Well, we got Hitman. We got Sniper Elite 5.
Yeah, I have it pulled up on my iPad. I took a screen capture of the keynote and put it on the iPad, and I'm mirroring the iPad to OBS so we can show the game list. But they got all kinds of stuff on here. Chronos, the new Dawn, the missus and I are definitely excited for. Cyberpunk, I never played the DLC. Like I played it when it was originally released, but I never went and played the DLC for it. Eve is a long time Mac game. Like that one is. I remember playing that on a dual G5 Power Mac in my college's computer lab. I played the original Eve on that. That was, man, that takes me back. RoboCop, Infinity Mickey, Crimson Desert looks cool. I've never even heard of Crimson Desert.
Mm-hmm.
Crimson Desert's gonna be huge.
Inzoi looks like AI crap to me. It really looks like looks like ass.
That's the one that's like The Sims, right? Like the life sim game.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but it's like a bad like Chinese knockoff of it. I don't know. It just looks weird to me. I don't know. It just doesn't look good to me.
And don't forget Cat Quest 3. That's a big one.
Oh yeah. Okay. Well, I probably would take Cat Quest 3.
Yeah, I hope Crimson New Dawn runs well, being UE5 and new.
I hope so.
I mean, Stray is UE5, I think, and it runs great. So
that's UE4.
Yeah. Oh, is it? Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I knew it was UE.
Dead Island 2, Where Winds Meet. That's gonna be fun to play on the Mac.
Dead Island 2. Dead Island 2 was originally supposed to come out in 2024, and I'm starting to think it's not going to come out in 2024.
Yeah.
Really? What gave you that impression?
But what I hate the most about this is like we don't have a Cyberpunk release date. Just Apple doesn't give release dates or barely gives release windows, and then they delay, and I feel like they treat us poorly.
Yeah.
I feel like the devs probably feel that way too. I just have a genuine suspicion that it is the way Apple wants people to develop for macOS and iOS is a much bigger lift than how they're accustomed to developing for Windows and Linux.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely. I think there's not a lot of communication with at least Dead Island 2 and Apple and Cyberpunk. Like, it seems like now Cyberpunk has just been waiting for Metal 4 and the Tahoe features with Metal FX and frame generation, but like when Cyberpunk,
it's lousy seeing it come to Switch.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah, like when Cyberpunk first got announced on, I don't know what event it was last year, but like they at least could have said that it's coming like what uh, fall of 2025 is when Tahoe comes out, so they could have just
Right.
said
They
something
should have
around there.
known.
So,
It's a shame.
What else we got?
Just a few more games that run through GPTK. We got Dragon Age Veilguard.
Wait, is that on
Final
crossover or is that
Fantasy.
coming to macOS native?
This is crossover, back to crossover.
Okay. All right, gotcha.
And Final Fantasy Rebirth is now working.
Nice.
Yeah, that had graphical errors, I think, right? And then now there's just no more graphical errors.
Yep, they fixed it. They did it.
Um,
But yeah.
Gotta do the victory
what's next
song.
to test?
Da, 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 da.
Overall, I just think it was a very disappointing WWDC for gaming.
Yeah, we
Especially
got more,
just compared. Yeah.
we got more cool stuff from out of WWDC than WWDC itself, you know.
Yeah, yeah. And like was it WDC where they like brought out like Kojima and shit, and they like announced Resident Evil and
Yeah, I think that was Dub last
Death
year.
Stranding. Yeah, so like I was expecting at least something like that, especially with Res Evil Requiem being announced, and everybody knows Death Stranding's coming soon. So I was just a little disappointed.
Yeah, you gotta go back and see how long they talked about gaming this year, and then compare it to last year.
It's not much.
Like,
I've got it pulled up here on my VLC stream that I got overlaid on OBS. And
it's like 30 seconds or something.
It's literally
I could have
it's
sworn
just
it's like
under
20
4
seconds.
minutes. Yeah, it's like 4 minutes at most.
And they showed that game's list for like a nanosecond. I was like, holy cow, I couldn't even see.
Because they're so embarrassed by it.
Yeah, that's probably right.
Resident Evil 2, Resident Evil 3, Civ 7, Valheim, No Man's Sky, Relics, Sniper Elite 4, 5, Assassin's Creed Shadows, Pools, Power World, assuming it doesn't die, or get killed rather, and then as far as pretty much everything else we've covered, so it's like they did a little like a show for like things that are like already out, and they're like, hey, we have these, and then they basically put a list that's 50% longer and said, we also have these things, some of which we've also already announced. So
right, we've got all of these delayed games for you. That's what they said.
They're all making Switch 2 ports.
Mm-hmm.
I guess so. I guess you get Nintendo doesn't take a 30% cut for all those. Or maybe they do. They can just, be like, oh, well, we're charging $80 for a game now. So,
long story short, I think. Yeah, go ahead.
Nintendo just also has the massive install base. Like,
yeah,
you just know that if you put a game on a Nintendo system, you're going to get so many game downloads and stuff. So,
Yep.
I was going to say, long story
Opposite of Mac.
short. Sorry, I keep interrupting you, Shock. That's on me.
No, it's okay. I keep interrupting you, so go ahead.
No, I keep interrupting you. Long story short, bad native gaming news, but pretty solid game porting toolkit news.
Yeah, I think that's a
like
general.
Metal 4 sounds like it's pretty good. Got a good buff towards that makes GPTK3 runs better. Sounds like 3S Chain is pretty interested in the new stuff. I know Isaac and that other dev is pretty excited about stuff with Molten VK and stuff like that. Sounds like
that's good.
things coming. But yeah, cheers to next WWDC.
Cheers.
I wonder if we'll get 2 minutes of gaming next year. Just keep getting.
Don't get your hopes up.
All right, then the next thing they had on the on the presentation on the keynote was Vision OS. I think it's a little outside of the price range for any of us. Cool stuff, but it's nothing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's anything groundbreaking for what we've already seen.
They didn't talk about gaming, right?
No. I mean, they've got their movies and their content, like their concerts that they do, and then they've got like documentaries, VIP Yankee Stadium Wildlife with the Sharks. They've got Racing Adventure. They got the Weekend music video, Boundless.
Oh.
They've got a concert for one, and then they have Metallica, they have Man vs. Beast. They have the Apple immersive experience called Submerge, which is like a little 3-minute video. Which I suppose if you
where they simulate drowning.
Yeah, like drowning in a sub. It's just like, I suppose if you go through that like 4 or 5 times, you can like pick a new angle every time and be like, oh, I didn't see that before. Oh, I didn't see that before. But then it's kind of like at some point, it as a novelty, it wears off.
Yeah, drowning's only funny the first time.
Yeah, really, you only need to do it once. Trust me.
But what else they got? They got widgets, I think, or like where you can like place them around a room, which is cool.
Like your clock on the wall, so it's like, oh, when you come home and you put on your Vision Pro, you'll have the exact, like the clock will be in the same spot you left it.
Right.
Like the window.
It's neat. It seems like a very small update.
I'm surprised they didn't talk about Godot on Vision Pro.
Or Unity.
Yeah, because I know they've been doing a lot of work on Godot to get that like kind of laid out.
Yeah, I'm glad to hear about Godot. I've been learning a little bit of Godot, and it's quite nice. So I'm glad to hear that it's being supported on new things from Apple.
Yeah.
When do we think we'll get a new Vision Pro hardware thing?
On Tim Cook's last day of work. Like, here's my gift to the world.
Who's the guy who's gonna? They're saying is gonna replace him. He used to be the one who did all the Apple Watch stuff, but
yeah, I don't know his name.
I think he's the younger guy, right?
Yeah, he's younger for sure.
Yeah.
I didn't even know Tim Cook was retiring.
Yeah, there's rumors about it.
Huh.
I think the plan was that the Vision Pro would be his final product, but we'll see. I liked him.
What a successful product it's been.
Yeah.
I'm glad that at least it got the PlayStation controllers and stuff so you can actually play VR games in it.
Yeah, agreed. A little odd that they wouldn't make their own controllers, but I guess that makes sense.
No, I don't think Apple needs to make any controllers. Holy crap, man. The Switch 2 controllers are already like $100, man. If Apple made a controller, it'd be like, we're selling it for the incredible low price of $189. And if you want the one that has analog sticks, it's just an equally low, incredible $349.
And if you want the wheels, it's an extra $200.
If you want a HOTUS, it's $999.99. It's like $1,000.
Yeah, no, Apple likes the hands as controllers idea.
Yeah,
so.
right. all of our Macs except the Mac Mini already include a controller. It's called the mouse and keyboard. And if you buy an amazing iPhone, your controller's built into the screen. So,
They're touch controllers.
Oh yeah, touch controls suck.
Other than that, I think the only thing I saw was improved personas, where like it scans your face and you can add,
those look pretty
like
good.
it like, looks more realistic.
It does look
Yeah.
less freakish.
Yeah, it does look better. The hair is a little bit better quality on the picture I saw.
I actually just paused like the screen capture for it on VLC, and actually the hair looks terrible. Like when it's not moving, it looks really bad.
Well, at least we know that they are able to improve it. Like, at least we
for
know
sure,
that they
they're
can make
definitely
progress.
better. It does look like when they're side by side, like looking at the old what are these? What are the things even called?
Personas?
The
Personas, I think.
Yeah,
Something
looking
like
at them
that.
side by side, it really looks like you're going from like PlayStation 1.5 to PlayStation 2. Like it looks like it's a partial generation jump, like late PlayStation 1 into PlayStation 2, because the hair is just a little too stiff. Like maybe early PlayStation 3, but like the hair is a little
Maybe
too
that's
stiff.
what their hair looks like in real life.
I haven't known anybody with hair like that. But,
I think hair is just really hard for computers to do.
yeah.
I mean, look at it in video games. And
I was going to say, if you look at the Inzoi demo from this keynote, the hair on these guys and girls is like really strange looking. Like it looks checkerboarded all the heck.
Mm-hmm.
Take $1 billion from Apple TV and put it into hair development.
That's right. There you go. We need new hair effects. Open source it. Collaborate with AMD. Something.
Yeah. Is that everything?
And then I think in a weird like turn of events, they did iPad OS last.
Oh,
Which the
I didn't know so much.
iPad is now more like the Mac than ever, and thank God for it.
I'm so sad.
As soon as I get rid of
too
my
old.
iPad, they make
My iPad's
iPad
too
OS
old,
good.
so I didn't even get last year's update.
Which iPad do you have?
The 6th gen from 2017. Last year was the first year it didn't get an update. So
Is that A14 or earlier? Do you know?
that's a good question.
My iPad.
Let me look that up.
My iPad 8th gen is an A12, so he's probably A10. Would be my guess.
That sounds like
And what's
a
the-
confusion, I think, if I'm correct.
Do we know what
Sounds
the
about
oldest
right.
iPad that can update to this is? Does
Yeah,
it have to be
A10
Apple
Fusion on
Silicon?
mine.
I think it's A14 and
Yeah,
no,
the 6th gen
might
is
be
an
thinking
A10.
I'll have to look into updating if that's possible. But yeah, no.
No, it's A12 for sure, because I have iPad OS 26 on my 8th gen, so that's an A12 Bionic.
What a rush to see the minimize,
windowing.
maximize, exit buttons on the window.
The stoplights.
Yeah, the stoplights.
This felt like the moment that iPads actually could become a computer replacement, unless you already only used like email and stuff. So
I mean,
Right.
I've
I like
been able to
how-
do a lot
yeah.
with my iPad, especially since
Oh, yeah.
having it like a mouse, like a touchpad and keyboard case. But having an
Yeah,
actual
no, you
mouse
definitely
with a
can, but it's
pointer
not-
is like
Yeah.
going to be.
yeah, but like it's not like you would use Final Cut on your iPad over on your Mac or something like that.
Oh,
It's
for
like,
sure. Yeah, definitely not.
Like now it feels like if you really wanted to, there's not you could get away with just the iPad.
Yeah,
I think you
I
could,
like how
yeah.
it's like a nice balance between what it was and what you can do.
Mhm.
So like, I think they made a point of saying if you're the kind of person that likes full screen apps, nothing's going to change. But I don't know if it's a button or a gesture where it kind of like gives you the desktop looking thing. It's pretty
If I
cool.
had to guess, I'm assuming it's something to do with like the 3 little dots that are at the top of the
Ooh.
screen.
Not
Right.
coming to the iPad Air with is there an iPad Air with M1?
What?
Wait, what?
It's not coming to one of the iPads with M1?
No way.
Hold on, let me
That
look at this.
would be wild. I don't
Let
believe
me-
that.
Let me make sure I'm reading these terms right here. I'm looking at the right.
Tell me
thing.
it's not true.
iPad Air M1.
No way it is.
That's
I'm looking at Mac rumors right now. The iPad Air M2 and later.
Yeah, I was about to
That's
say.
wild.
It has an asterisk marked number 3 on their product page. Let me see if I can find what 3 coincides with.
So I guess
How does
A14 is
that
out of the
work?
question. Yeah, it's crazy. I mean, M1
How
is
does
so
that
powerful.
work? What?
That doesn't make sense though, because I have the A12.
I can't
on
believe that an iPad with a literal Mac chip can't handle this. That's
Something's-
crazy.
I'm trying
It's
to
weird
figure out
that-
which
I need-
specific feature or all of the OS. That's what I'm trying to figure out right now.
I mean, the Mac rumors page says iPad OS 26 supports the following
yeah,
iPad
no,
models.
I've got it right here. iPad 26 is compatible with these devices. This is on Apple's iPad OS 26 page. So
Okay, but I'm on my A14 and I am able to update to 26 beta. It says.
So yeah, I was about to say I have an iPad 8th generation, which is the oldest that's supported by iPad OS 26. So
That's crazy.
I'm running the beta on mine right now, and their product page says mine is the oldest generation. That's weird.
Yours
iPad 8 with an A12
How?
Bionic will get it, but an M1 iPad Air will not.
How is that possible?
That is strange. That is definitely like
That's got to be a typo.
It's gotta be.
That was released in March 2022. They can't be serious. iPad Air 3rd generation and later. Okay, hold on. Okay, so that's from March 2019. So that's the A12 as well. Okay, so this must be a specific.
Maybe it's like the Windows
This
or
is
something.
weird where it says iPad Air M2 and then immediately beneath that it says iPad Air 3rd generation and later.
Huh.
We need answers.
That's super weird.
I don't understand.
Is there
Suddenly my A14 iPad is better than M1
I
iPads.
guess. That's crazy.
Suck it.
So my A12 iPad's better than A14.
Need to do a poll to see if anyone here has an M1 iPad.
iPad Mini A17 Pro, iPad Pro, iPad Air M3, iPad Mini 5th generation and later.
Yeah, there's no way a newer iPad than mine can't run it if I can. There's just no way.
Yeah. I don't believe it. I think there's a typo on Apple's website.
I don't
that's gotta
understand.
be.
They've got these next to some of these. They have like iPad Mini A17 Pro with a little like right arrow, like a caret. But then they have iPad Mini 5th generation. Oh, one's a link to the store page, and the other is just. Okay, I see what you're doing here, Apple. All right.
Where is the compatibility thing?
Go to apple.com/os/iPadOS and then scroll way down. I say way down, like a little less than halfway down, like 40%. Let me see if I can find it. Maybe I can just like screen grab.
There it is. iPad Pro, iPad Air M3, iPad Air 2. 3rd generation and later. What does that even mean?
It must be for like some of the features.
Yeah, I guess. Huh. That is the weirdest thing I've seen on an Apple website in a long time.
I'm sure we'll find out more soon. If anybody knows, it's Mr. Mac, right? So
yeah.
Well,
He'll know. He'll let us.
Let's all ping him at the same time.
Hey, what does this mean? Yeah, some of these have like a little caret, like right carets to it, and then if you click on it, it goes to like the store page for that particular model iPad.
My guess is they're listing like, so it says iPad Mini 5th generation or later, and then the iPad Mini A17 Pro. So like they're listing their current devices and then the minimum device.
Okay.
Too. So kind of redundant instead of just saying
yeah,
like they shouldn't just list the iPad Mini, A17 Pro. Like obviously that's supported.
Yeah.
They should just say the minimum device, like iPad Mini 5th generation.
The part that initially caught my eye was the subsection number 3 at the bottom of the page that says the M1's not supported, and it's because they're specifically talking about the lock screen where you can do the dynamic spatial photos.
Okay, that makes sense.
That's limited is what it's looking like. Okay, that's what I was trying to find on the page earlier. I was like, where's number 3? Because I think that's what it's talking about.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's specifically this spatial lock screen thing that they got going.
That's still weird that they separated it.
Whew.
That's weird that they still separated it in the iPad OS 26 is compatible with these devices though.
Yeah, well, it's like I said, I think it's a sales thing. It's like, oh, like you can get the iPad Mini A17 Pro, just tap here and it'll take you straight to the purchase page.
Somewhere iPads.
Weird.
Get your stuff together, Apple. Come on.
Yeah, right.
Yeah. What happened to Steve Jobs' little 2x2 grid of the simple Apple lineup?
Dude, I seriously was like, if I was ever made like the CEO of Apple, I would so bring that thing back.
Right.
You have consumer and you have pro level products, and you've got it'd be like a 2x6 now, because you'd have iPad, iPhone, Mac, mobile Mac, desktop Mac, Vision OS. You have like the Vision Pro, and they have the Vision Air.
If we could harness the power of Steve Jobs,
if we could just harness the power of basic spreadsheets, we would be unstoppable.
But other than that, there wasn't much added to iPad. I feel like it's got the glass look,
desktop everything. God bless them.
Desktop
Files is going to be fun to mess with in preview. I played.
Preview, yeah,
I played preview
great.
a little bit, not very much, but I played with preview a little bit. It's
I use that all the time on my Mac, but I've
it's gonna be really handy.
Yeah.
I really hope I'm not about to dox any.
Looks like they have the colored and icon folders as well in Files.
Nice.
Have I missed this before? There's an option that says connect to server, and you can I guess connect to a Mac on your network and pull.
That's been there for a long time.
Okay, all right. So all right, that's on me.
I did that to a Raspberry Pi a long time ago.
Right on. What I'm not sure of is why it's when I'm in the Files app, it's the top half of the screen just says preview. Oh, this isn't Files. This is preview. That's why. Okay, Okay, go to Files. Oh, okay, yeah, Files is full screen. Look at that. If I just go to the right app, it all works like it's supposed to. Wonderful.
It's nice you can put folders in the dock on the iPad too.
No, really?
Yeah, you can.
Customize.
Yeah, you can put your downloads.
It's literally the Mac dock.
Yeah.
All right, I take it back. It's a substantial update for iPad.
Yeah, it's a good year for iPads.
Oh, sweet! So you can change the folder icons and stuff in iPad OS, like in Finder. Or Files, I mean, not Finder, but Files. This is cool.
Yeah,
I wonder if you have
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
No, I was just wondering if you have a pink folder on Mac and you send it to Files on your iPad, if it'll still be pink. That's what I want to know. What were you saying?
Oh, it'll take whatever color you last put on it. So you don't actually change the color. You tap on tags, and then whatever tag you choose colors the folder. But whatever the last tag you choose is, so you can have multiple tags. Whatever the last one is, that's the color it's going to adopt. That's interesting. Huh. Don't know how I feel about that one, but
Who the heck is trying to access my Steam account right now?
Not me.
Oh no! Shoot!
Let's
he figured
see
it out.
He's on us, boys. Distraction tactics failed.
Australia. I think I know who that is.
Oh,
Where's Dumbo at?
Romeo.
No, I think it's Stewie.
Oh, okay.
We'll see.
Testing more Cyberpunk.
Yeah, maybe.
Shout out to Mr. Mac Wright.
The GOAT.
For sure.
Huh.
I might have to rewatch this like iPad OS part of this because it looks like they've actually added quite a lot to here.
Mhm.
Oh, and they close out with Apple Intelligence. Oh, that's right. They kind of like drop this thing about that, and like they don't say it's agentic, but it's like Apple AI, where you can ask it to do something and it will go out to like other like other services and try to find out information about them.
Hmm. Yeah, I'm not a fan of agentic AI stuff. I don't trust it.
I think it probably would be fine in an enterprise, but I'm not sure how in my personal life I'm going to apply that to anything.
Hmm.
Yeah, the colored folders in
Yeah.
Mac are actually, they just had this little screenshot up on the keynote. You can, where they have some folders on the desktop, and each one of them, the folder is colored, but next to the name of the folder is a dot. So these are just tags. You're not actually setting like a random color. It's just the tags.
Hmm.
Okay, I didn't realize that. That's interesting.
Love that colored folders are what we keep coming back to.
Well, it's the
I
best
mean,
part.
I, when they announced it, I jumped out of my chair.
I know. I
Yeah,
saw
I was
that and
super
I was
excited
like,
too.
oh boy, MPT is gonna lose his mind.
He wasn't the only one.
I'm
I
I'm just always
literally wrote in
dying
my
at
notes
first.
colored folders. It's literally, I just put that.
It's huge.
I know. They showed the all gray and I was like, oh boy, that looks just like your guys' setup.
Yeah.
Mine's going to be all red.
All red everything.
All red everything. All right. I think though that's it. They talked a little bit about Swift and Swift UI, podcast, Xcode, platform State of the Union is coming. Tim closes us out, and then they have this song at the end where they basically just sing
Yeah,
different reviews for different apps on the App Store.
yeah.
Yeah, that was
I love
interesting.
that.
It's like, what in the world is this? Like, I
They
guess
they
they're
could have
just
put that money into Apple Gaming.
for sure. Like, I mean, I guess they're, you know, well, last year, a lot of them, like tech media, was saying that Google was doing the more fun keynotes, like they just felt like more lighthearted and whimsical, and so I guess Apple's like, well, we can be whimsical, but again, look, we'll do music. We'll do a musical number on a where we have a WWDC where we don't mention Apple Music like but once just to say it has lyrics. You know?
Oh, and it's the translation
I should have.
stuff too. That was
Yeah,
cool.
yeah, live translation
Mhm.
of lyrics. So
They should have done reviews for Assassin's Creed Shadows.
Somehow I feel like those won't be nearly as positive as the ones that I literally
Two out
tattooed
of
this app
five.
icon on my arm.
well,
20
that's it.
FPS on M format.
I was gonna say I think
Yeah.
that's it. I don't
Yeah.
think there's anything else in the keynote that I mean, there's definitely nothing else I had to say. Any other final thoughts, closing thoughts?
No, I mean it was a decent WWDC. Nothing crazy, nothing like terrible. I think it was all right. I like the
Yeah, I
I
think
like
it
the
was.
UI and I like the few little bits of gaming stuff we got. That's about it.
It definitely felt like a
Yeah,
redesign year where that's the main drawing feature that's gonna be the attractive thing. So
right. I think this is like a good starting point for the future where all the
mhm,
devices are now kind of on the same
mhm.
wavelength and all look similar. And yeah, I thought it was a decent WWDC, but was expecting a little bit more from the Mac gaming. So I'm looking forward to the next Mac hardware event where hopefully we'll get some more actual games. And if this is the last thing I can say, I have been to a Costco many times, and shout out to Gomeo who couldn't be here, but and shout out to the Mac Gaming Discord server if anybody's interested in joining.
We love you, Gomeo. PBY. I did a separate podcast with him last year it looks like FPS Analyzer may not be long for this world with these new updates to FX and such, which is a little bit sad.
Hopefully he can find a new way to get it all working.
Yeah,
if anyone can figure it out, it's him.
Yeah, he's talked about already. He's thrown out a couple ideas that may be possible to keep the Mac Games DB website alive by using the HTML outputs from the recordings. So I think the hurdle at this point is going to be like vetting like people, right? You know, like who are like trusted contributors to the site. So I think that's going to be the trick.
Exactly.
Can't trust me.
Yeah, definitely not.
I think he's so sketchy.
Yeah, super. Can't trust somebody who hadn't been to Costco very much in his life.
I have. All right, you know what?
I said very much. I didn't say never.
We tried their pizza though in PC. Costco pizza, low key, awesome.
I was about to say, I think, yeah. I was going to say, there's one thing. The BJ's Warehouse, like it's like Sam Club Costco competitor down here. They don't have any like food services at all. Like, they have like a little
unbelievable.
They do like fresh baked bread, and that's like, and you can get like, you know, they have a butcher for meats, but that's like it. I've never seen them do anything else. Yeah, they don't have a cafeteria where you can get, you know, super cheap food.
It'll never replace Costco then.
No, I don't think so.
We've all been to Costco. All right, moving on.
Yeah, I was gonna say I think that the takeaway from this is if you quality control for the liquid glass UI, this is a pretty mid WWDC. It's kind of what I'm getting from this.
Yeah.
Yep.
But I have high hopes for the future.
Yeah, for sure. I'll be interested to see the M5 hardware, like what's going to happen there, and the A18 stuff, because I mean. And let's hope that they're not doing a horizontal bar for the 17 series of iPhones. Oh God,
that looks so ugly.
They'll say if these renders are true, it's going to be a sad year for the iPhone.
I don't mind it. I'll just go out and say it. I don't mind it.
Get out.
MPT, ban that man.
He's banned.
I'm going to get blocked right now.
Yeah, we'll have to do another podcast when that happens, and we can all fight with each other.
Yeah.
Yeah. I will say, while there's not a lot of features, like the redesign does seem to be a thing, the lack of features does maybe make me cautiously optimistic that this will be a good like stability year as well. Because I know that there have been a lot of stability issues with pretty much all of the Apple platforms in the last couple of years. So maybe if the only major thing is the redesign, they'll be able to get the underlying functionality working a little more smoothly. So
like this is the Snow Leopard update.
Yeah, exactly.
I hate to say I agree, but I think you're right. There's on the Android side of things, they've talked about like 13 was like a lot of new features, and then 14 was a lot of stability stuff. Then 15 was new features, and then 16's doing like stability but like core functionality stuff with like improved security, improved privacy, and things like that. So I hope that 26 proves to be the same way.
Yeah, I remember like with iOS 12, I think it was, or something like that. Like the year before, iPad OS was like a huge, like they did nothing that year, but it was so fast and so stable. Like I had my iPad Mini 2 or something like that at that point, and I updated to it, and it literally felt faster than it did the year before. So it was like maybe it'll be like that.
Yeah, well, it's the same way with Snow Leopard from Leopard. I mean, like, I remember that those days. That was
the greatest operating system ever.
It's the one I started on.
I started on Leopard, but I loved the way that Tiger looked. But
Leopard was my first.
Yeah, I was with Apple when Lion was out, and then while I was there, we released Mountain Lion, and so we all got like shirts that said Mountain Lion on them. So I actually have a long sleeve green shirt that says Mountain Lion. So that was fun to be there for that.
That's sick.
Yeah. So this is like an S year, like for like 4S, 5S. This is like definitely an S year for
yeah.
the OS.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, me too.
Oh yeah, honestly. I'm all for it.
And hopefully that will. Hopefully, like they really will like meet what Craig said, and they have a high expectation for the way AI should work, and it's got to meet their standard. And I really hope it does. I really hope that this time next year we're talking about how wonderful Apple Intelligence is and how useful it is, and you know, because I mean, I turned off Apple Intelligence on my 15 Pro because I kept having these weird like quirks, and I was like, oh, it must be like resource usage. Like Apple Intelligence must be the problem. But the reality is like I'm still having some bugs like on iOS, and it's just like, why? What happened here? Where's the quality control that Apple is famous for on this?
For sure. Yeah, convince me to reinstall Apple Intelligence.
Yeah, exactly.
Do it. I dare you.
Do it.
Yeah.
You won't.
Do it now. All right, everybody. Well, I think that's it. I think we've... Any other closing thoughts? I think we all kind of wrapped up here, but anything else?
I've been
good.
Right.
No, that was really fun. Thank you so much, Apple Gaming SE.
No, thank you all for being here.
As always.
Appreciate y'all doing this.
Thanks for having us.
Hopefully everybody who are watching and listening, please like and subscribe to all of our channels. And we look forward to seeing you after the next keynote, which will be, what are we thinking, September-ish?
Something like that,
probably the iPhone
something
stuff.
Like that.
Yeah. I'm thinking September because Google pushed their Pixel launch up to August. They've already said that. They're like, we're doing the Pixel in August, so that means iPhone's going to be September, I think. So we'll see a keynote in hopefully early September, and have new iPhones late September, early October.
Can't wait.
And then maybe we'll have another Mac event in October. That would be great.
That would be cool.
That would be great.
Jeez.
All right, y'all. Thank you, everybody. Have yourselves a great day, morning, night, evening, wherever you are, whatever your time zone you're in. And we look forward to seeing you all in the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.
See you.
Peace. Oh,
having played it on neither, I can't verify that. So, but
I heard it was good too.
Okay.
You heard what?
I heard the port was pretty good. Like you could do like 40 FPS.
Yeah, like it's running at like 1080p and 40 FPS or something like that in performance mode, I think. Which honestly, it doesn't seem like it's a super twitchy shooter or anything like that. So that sounds perfectly playable to me, especially like on a Android tablet, basically. So
I'm just bitter that we don't have it on Mac.
I know, that's crazy. I have not gotten it on the Switch too because I'm waiting for the Mac version as well. But yeah, every game that I've played that I cared to play has been fantastic so far. So.
Don't buy it because I think I have it through. Unless you already have it, but I have it through GLG. Okay, never mind.
Yeah,
well, I'm gonna buy it.
I would love to have gotten it through GLG, but I think I got it on sale for like the spring sale or something like that. So.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've got it on GOG, but I'm probably gonna buy it through the App Store just to support CD Projekt Red and like promote the App Store, Apple gaming kind of ethos. Okay, yeah. I have audio coming through this time. I don't know what changed other than I just turned off Discord and turned it back on, or OBS. So
classic problem.
It is what it is, and we're gonna just run along with it. All right, is this QuickTime? Cool. Hold on. Where's my QuickTime window?
Yeah, I'm down to take it from the top if you want to.
Yeah, if y'all don't mind, I would appreciate that. I'm so sorry. All right. Okay, so I'll just do again. Start with JFish, MPT, and then Shock. Okay, so MPT, do you want me to make like any joke about you never going to Costco? Like I won't say Costco virgin, but I'll say like who's never seen
You
Costco.
can say whatever. You can say whatever you would like.
All right.